Hey guys, I'm back! This time with episode 9 of DreamWorks Dragons Race to the Edge, Quake, Rattle, and Roll. Alright, so I am back with my Dragons Race to the Edge recap series, so let's get into it. This episode started out with Hiccup and Toothless, and they were creating a telescope so they could view the other islands. At the same time, the twins have been given an assignment to build a watchtower, and they are so impressed with the watchtower that they have created. They have this feeling of accomplishment that they then go to tell the other riders, hey, like, look what we did! It's actually amazing! As they walk away, a little piece of the tower crumbles down, and when they bring the riders back, there was no tower to be seen. They are furious, they are upset, and so they said, no, we're gonna do it, so they go back to building a tower. In the meantime, Fishlegs has been in with the Dragon's Eye, and he and Meatlug are testing different types of rocks. Fishlegs will give Meatlug a rock, he'll chew it up, it'll basically turn into molten lava. Depending on the type of rock, it will emote a different color. So all these colors are able to reflect into the Dragon's Eye to build a complete map, which gets Fishlegs really excited because it leads to Dark Deep, the ancestral home of the Gronkles. He is determined to be the first person from Berk ever to set foot on this ancient home of the Gronkles, so he flies out and he allows Hiccup to come, but he says, no, I have to be the first person to set foot on it, and Hiccup says, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. They fly out, they go visit, and it's basically what you expect out of a land of Gronkles. It's made of all rocks, but there are no Gronkles to be seen. They go underground and they see some Gronkles, and Fishlegs goes up to him and tries to approach them, but they get kind of aggressive, which is not in their character, and so they're kind of concerned, and then they see a giant boulder rolling towards them, and they all flee, and the boulder goes up sort of a hill, and they're saying, like, have you ever seen a boulder roll uphill? And then it comes back down, and they realize very quickly, okay, this isn't a boulder, this is a dragon. This dragon turns out to be very fierce and large, and Fishlegs, in the heat of the moment, ends up calling it the catastrophic Quaken, which we will just call Quaken for short. They realize very quickly that the Quaken has taken over, and the Gronkles are no longer able to be there, so they take all the Gronkles, they fly them to Dragon's Edge, and say, hey, we're going to temporarily relocate you guys here in the meantime. The other riders don't really appreciate this because this is their home, not the Gronkles' home. The Gronkles' home was way over there. And so, you know, they're given sort of jobs. The twins, you know, they had an attempt to make another tower, but that, you know, when they went to shorter one, magically disappeared, but they are in charge of some of these Gronkles. They end up building sort of an encampment for the Gronkles, but they realize, oh crap, we made it out of rocks. Gronkles eat rocks. Gronkles ate the cage. But Fishlegs is really set on going back to Dark Deep. He wants to take the Gronkles back, he wants to destroy the Quaken basically, but that's not really in his nature. So he goes to Snotlout and he says, hey, can you help me learn how to destroy this guy? And so Snotlout gives him tips and advice, and it's really not in his nature to fight and to be ferocious. And finally Fishlegs, you know, he really wants to do this. He wants to play dirty as it is, and eventually just goes off without Hiccup's consent to go and fight the Quaken. On the island, he and Snotlout have gone there, and Fishlegs is all about destroying the Quaken, so he goes, and it turns out this thing, you know, it's ferocious, it's big, and so he's getting ready to fight it, and then ultimately at the last minute, he just backs away, he kind of stands there. It's ultimately suicide what he is doing, standing there as a giant Quaken is rolling towards him. But that's all the Quaken needed. He actually ended up being quite tame and ended up being their friend. So Fishlegs saves the day, they are friends with the Quaken, all of the Gronkles come back, they all live in peace and harmony, and you know what? Fishlegs did it his way, not Snotlout or someone else's way. So that's basically the end of the episode. Very simple, we go visit yet another island. This Dragon's Eye is very helpful in helping us discover new places, new dragons. We had the Quaken this time, who was very interesting. We mostly saw him in his rolled up hedgehog form, but nonetheless he created a lot of drama and intrigue, and we got to see more cool looking Gronkles. This was another character-centric episode. We focused on Fishlegs. We did have a few subplots with Snotlout and the twins. Of course, I love anything with the twins. They are hilarious. And then Snotlout. We got to see the two different temperaments between Fishlegs and Snotlout, and also their different philosophies on life and battle and how to approach things. Not saying that one is better than the other, but what I loved about this episode was that it was about being true to yourself and not trying to fit in to what someone else's ideal is. You have to be true to yourself, and Fishlegs did just that. Okay guys, that's all I have for this very quick recap of Dragons Race to the Edge. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite scene was and favorite quote. Until next episode, I'm Morgan, and this is the Rotoscopers YouTube.